Well, I want to talk about this because like this is weird. People have tried to pretend that they don't like technology now. I don't know. I think it's odd. But we'll see what it says.
Technology. It makes our lives easier so we could focus on the good things in life, like recreationally using technology. Up until the past decade or so, technology was exciting. It was solving all these problems we face and making life more enjoyable, all while looking sick as fuck. Somewhere in the 2010s though, it started to create more problems than it solved. It was distracting drivers, causing addictions and mental illness, stealing jobs, and it just stopped looking cool as fuck. We went from being hyped over every new advancement to
I think this is a boomer take. I do. I think this is kind of a boomer take because there's a lot of pieces of technology now that I really like. Who said technology is bad? Who decided this? I think technology is great. I love technology. I mean, I can see what he's saying, but I think that the reason why people have come to hate technology is because they don't have self-control. They can't regulate their time. They can't regulate their emotions. They go on social media and they get themselves mad. Like, I mean, really, whose fault is that?
indifferent, if not a little resentful and maybe scared. Today I'm going to go over how fun and exciting technology used to be, how our perception of it has shifted to kind of hate it, and why this is all happening. Let me take you back to when technology was still fun. I'm not going to say this is the best era, but this is kind of right before people started to just fucking hate it.
Or like
you had things coming out like the iPod. Holy shit. I can listen to Beyonce, Hot Shell Ray, and pirate fighting sounds without the cumbersome tapes and CDs of the past. There were new computers dropping left and right.
Well, the reason why the iPod was so good is because before we had iPods, we had CDs. We had CD players. And even the really good CD players would skip. They would, obviously, CDs deteriorated over time, and you could only have one CD in at a time. So if you wanted to listen to a bunch of different music, you couldn't do that, really. And so that's the reason why. It's because the iPod solved a new problem that the existing technology didn't solve. And I think a lot of people's frustration with technology nowadays also is the fact that it creates problems to solve for itself, or it solves problems that don't exist.
What do I want to buy? Maybe the computer with the big ass booty? I don't even know if I can handle all that ass.
Yeah.
Maybe I should go with the laptop with the red hot nipple in the middle.
I
Quick
had
side note,
one of those.
A friend once told me that their nipples get darker the angrier they get. I don't know if that's true.
I don't know.
If that's even relevant here, but I can't be the only one carrying the burden of knowing that. On second thought, this is kind of triggering. I think I'm just going to go with the Dell.
Oh.
This is the 2000s, not Toontown. You still had safe options like the Dell. If you were interested in safe options, though, gaming was just not for you in the 2000s. Not only was it really edgy for some reason, but every console was revolutionary. Oh my god, the new PlayStation and Xbox consoles have high-resolution buff dudes and bodacious babes.
I think that's true, that old consoles made way bigger leaps than consoles do now. Like, nowadays, you have consoles that come out, and it's basically the same thing. The last console that I think really made a big difference was the Nintendo Switch. And then the last one that had technology that was valuable was the PS3 because it came with a Blu-ray player. Other than that, yeah, a lot of the stuff didn't really matter.
And if you're not into that, you could just whack off with the Wii.
Yeah.
Like
The
whack
Wii was
the
amazing.
tennis racket. Like console launches and even game launches were national events. I'm pretty sure businesses closed on the day Halo 3 came out. I mean, people camped out for this game. I don't think people even drove to the store for Halo Infinite. You know what?
Well, no, because nobody played it. But there are people, like, for example, whenever I went to the Nintendo Switch 2, like a fucking midnight release, there was like maybe 30 people there or so. And they were giving them out before midnight. And so we just went in there and got one. That was it, and left. And so, it does happen because you download it. Yeah. And like, I remember, I think it was Cataclysm that like me, Cody, and Jeff and my mom all went, and we went to the pre-expansion release of Cataclysm. It might have been Mr. Pandaria, but I think it was Cata. And I remember our friend Austin downloaded it remotely on his computer, right? Because that was the first digital download. And I remember we called them the F word constantly because he didn't go with us, right? We were so mad. We were like, bro, like, how do you just download it on your PC? No, you've got to go to the midnight release at GameStop with us. What do you mean, right? We were so mad at him. And I thought Wrath was. Well, I think that the Cato was the first time that we did it. And we were so annoyed. And that those events were so much fun. They were. And I think now people just digital download. But for physical releases, like, for example, we got the SNES Mini, my friend Eric and I, and like we got there at like 7:30 in the morning to buy one. And I swear to God, every single other person there was 32 years old. Literally every single one. It was all a bunch of fucking 90s to 1988 to 1992 year old men. Half of them had their wife in the car that's like sitting there waiting, and, you know, they're walking out. You know, that was it, right? And look at you now. Yeah, that was a while ago. And that's it. I was born in 88. Yeah, and so you still have this, but with software, it's different than hardware.
People camped out for literally everything in the 2000s. What was up with that? Captain Crunch is releasing an all berries variety? Oh. Someone get my camping tent. Probably the biggest camping event was For a Phone, which is where we got hit the hardest in this downfall of technology. Yeah. Buying a phone was like buying a car. You had to weigh the pros and cons of every model and really picture what your life was going to be like.
Well, they were so different, right? I mean, you had a Nokia phone that was like this. You had Blackberries that were like that. You had the Motorola Razr. You had flip phones. You had like there was a lot of variation. Where like nowadays there's the only variation is that some phones you can flip, right? Like Emmy has that phone that like is a Game Boy Advance basically. But other than that, or Game Boy SP, Game Boy Advance SP, where like you can like flip it back and forth, but that was it. That's literally it. Other than that, there's no other customization that you have.
So this one has a built-in MP3 player, high-speed 3G service, and a sliding keyboard.
Oh,
and
that's
this one's
big.
blue.
That's real big. Wow.
Let me just go with the blue one, please. You got different phones coming out with cool new features, unique shapes.
Well, yeah. I mean, like we had these.
Varying sizes and keyboards that deployed in ways you never even could have imagined. There was genuinely something for everyone. Nokia, Razr, Sidekick, Pearphone, BlackBerry, and the iPhone were so novel and, more importantly, so diverse. They were worth camping out for. Kind of, not really. Today you just buy them online or go to the Apple store. Nowadays you walk into an AT&T store trying to buy a phone looking like this. They're just like, what the fuck? You look good for 65. How can I help you, sir? This concept of having something for everyone extended to the internet as well. Hey, check it out. We don't need cable when we could just watch homoerotic content on this YouTube thing. Finally, another outlet for me to show off my shit music taste. Wow, I really wish I could see my favorite celebrities share shitty one-liners and or racist hot takes.
Yep, there you go.
Awesome. I hope this doesn't turn into a schizo battlefield of who could be the most offensive or offended. You're telling me I could sign up to see what my old high school buddies are up to, or if I'm only 9 years old, I could sign up to just play games?
Be retarded.
I love Facebook.
Yep, there you go.
I hope this doesn't turn into a geriatric battlefield arguing whether or not this video of Michael Jackson as Superman is real.
Wait, oh my God, is that really him?
There were always new websites cropping up, so all furries had to do was wait just one more second.
He's alive.
And there you go. There's a new website for you guys. Don't do anything weird on there. Although it's kind
of, you don't want to do that. And no, and that's always how it's been. But those websites are still around now. Like DeviantArt is still around. People still use DeviantArt.
Of annoying. There was something fun about all websites looking different and getting redesigns every few years. A few years ago, I got this book from a used bookstore, and it just has a bunch of old Flash websites, and it is fucking sick. It is genuinely sad what happened to the design of websites.
I think that everybody thinks this is true until they have to use one of these websites, and then it's annoying and hard to understand. But I do think that having some flair to the website, so like here's a really good parallel. How cool was it the UI for like Expedition 33 as a game or for Metaphor ReFantazio. The UI was it was its own type of art by itself. And so I'm not completely out on this idea, but I think that things have become more uniform because that's what makes more sense for more people.
Regularly browse the Pokemon website as a kid, and you know when a new redesign dropped, my little ass was popping champagne.
Oh.
Or I guess it was just apple cider. At the time, it seemed like technology was always advancing and getting better. You can see how positively we thought about it with the obsessive use of Fruitiger Arrow. This is officially a YouTube video because I said the word Fruitiger Arrow. Technology looked futuristic yet clean, and we thought it was going to integrate with our natural world. And butterflies were going to be flying through bubbles and neon green pastures. So yeah, it didn't really integrate with our natural world. It kind of did the opposite, but I'm getting ahead
the natural world integrated with technology instead.
Of myself. Actually, I already got ahead of myself, and it just arrived today. All right, going back to where I was, people were excited for what was to come. They had time to breathe between new innovations and enjoy the new product they just bought. New products also warranted being released. They would usually serve a purpose, you know, fix a problem, like tech products.
This is another issue right here, is that the new iPhone will probably do the same thing that the old iPhone did. And the new Samsung phone will probably do the same thing that the old Samsung phone did. But it will have slightly better audio or slightly better video. But 5% faster, exactly. And so you're really just buying like, after the iPhone came out, all people have been doing since iPhones is buying the new iPhone. This is basically an iPhone.
Are supposed to do. If a new iteration of a product came out, it was different enough to justify buying it. Like, yeah, the GameCube could really use a controller that you could whack off. Now, compare all these generalizations to today. None of them are true anymore. Now, before we dive in, I don't mean for this to just be an old good, new bad, because looking at modern technology...
Well, yeah, a lot of these things are pretty cool.
That's just not the case. We have incredible technology today. This is more about how our perception of it has changed and how technology is advancing in a less than desirable direction. Also,
I think technology is great. I'm not a big agreeer with this. I think that the problem is that companies just keep wanting to get paychecks for releasing the same product over and over. And that's not really a problem with technology. That's more a problem with that company.
This is not just a boomer thing or just a zoomer thing. Most people across all ages are starting to admit, yeah, we got a bit of a problem here. For example, think of how people reacted to when something as simple as FaceTime released. I could pick up my phone at any time from anywhere and video call whoever I wanted, and it didn't look like 2 pixels. It was genuinely mind-blowing. You know what? My friend had buffalo wings from Chuck E. Cheese the other day.
Well, it was mind-blowing. Like, my dad would talk about this. Like, back in the day, like, 3,000 years ago, whenever he was a kid, they had a party line. Which means that, like, each home in the area didn't have an actual unique dedicated phone line. And so if you picked up the phone, there was a chance that somebody else would actually pick up the phone instead, or somebody else would be on the phone at the same time, and it was like your neighbor. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, exactly. Our grandparents said that. Yeah, exactly. So, like, I think this is something that's happened in waves over time.
Okay, so I'm going to give him a quick call and see how he's doing. Hey, buddy, how's your stool?
You gotta help me, man. There's so much blood.
All right. Now compare that reaction to when I say these 2 letters, AI, or these 3 letters, NFT, or these 4 letters, SPUM. This shit is in the...
I think AI has value. NFT doesn't have any value. People use AI all the time now. Like, everybody likes to complain about AI, but I see people constantly using AI.
News every week.
I don't know what's
and we're tired of hearing about it. AI is more concerning because at least with NFTs, it was just kind of like an idiot pastime. You didn't have to worry about it affecting your everyday life, and it just kind of died out on its own after a few months. Who knew that a poorly animated eyesore of an ugly ass, shitty ass...
Isn't it crazy how right I was about that guy getting his NFT stolen was the end of NFTs? I somewhere inside of me, I just knew like this is the beginning of the end.
Cartoon
Seth Green,
wasn't
yeah,
going to save these
that's
things.
the guy.
Could you have predicted that?
Yeah.
Can we call in That's So Raven and ask if she could have predicted that this ugly ass shitty cartoon was not going to save the world of scamming that is NFTs? AI and automation advancements are not as fun as advancements in keyboard deployment technology or video game graphics. Like, we kind of have to be
I think that people really like the ability, like if you look at the Studio Ghibli filter thing and how popular that was, I think that you can see that people still do revel and enjoy new technological leaps and technological innovation. And I think that's probably the most recent example that I could talk about that would be an indicator of people still enjoying new technology. And then you even have now, you've got the Google VEO3, which is the Google video editor. That also is really, really popular. People love that. But would you pay for a Studio Ghibli filter? Well, people pay for ChatGPT or they pay for some form of AI subscription that uses that as a function. Yeah, they do. It's actually very common. That's why these companies are raising billions of dollars of capital. Yeah, I mean, sure. Darth Vader. Yeah, remember Darth Vader in Fortnite? People love that.
Concerned with the outcome of the former. And this is kind of how we feel about everything in tech now. Hesitant and exhausted. Everything was becoming more convenient and solving all these little annoyances of everyday life.
Yeah.
But now we've regressed. You try to order food or even just look at the menu of a restaurant before you go, and it wants you to sign up, or it's going to throw you into the app store to download their app. You want to...
Okay, that's a good point. This is the first one I totally agree with. Having to set up an account or having to make another profile in order to use a piece of hardware that you've already paid your money for. Like, why do you not have just a localized piece of software that you can just install onto the PC that automatically detects that you are using this piece of hardware? Like a game launcher, like anytime that there's a game launcher for a game launcher, like I have to go to Steam and then I use Steam to open up another game. Oh, bro, fuck you. No, man, that's too much.
Take the train? You got to download an app. You want to take the bus in the same city? You got to download a different app. You want to check into the emergency...
And another one that's really annoying is, like, have you ever been to a restaurant? Like, I'm in Austin, Texas, and so we've got a lot of these, like, kind of hippie restaurants and shit like this, is that you have a restaurant and they don't even have menus. You just have to scan a QR code in order to read the menu. Yeah, scan the menu. I don't like digital menus. I'm an old man now. Digital menus are too much. Yep, that's the bridge too far. My dad and we went to a place like that. I forgot, it was like some Mexican restaurant. And like, we thought it was going to be a nice place you could sit down. Bro, everybody there was like fucking 21, drinking and screaming and yelling. And like, I came out there and like, we're like, well, where's the fucking menu? And they're like, scan it on your phone. And like, my dad doesn't, especially then, did not know how to even use a smartphone. And he was like, okay, let's just go to Cracker Barrel. Like, yeah, that was it. It's like, yeah, we gotta go.
Emergency room because you have the sword of a Sengoku period ninja in your chest.
Sir, can you scan the QR code to check in through the app?
Yeah. I don't have the app. I just have a sword in my chest. Can I do like a paper form or something?
Yeah.
Sir, can you scan the other QR code to download the app?
Then you got social media, which is just like f***ing horrible now. Look at these statistics. And these ones too.
What's this here?
F***ing horrible now. Look at these statistics.
Teen and young adults in-person social engagement with friends, annual daily average in minutes. That's bad. Wow. I mean, yeah, I would. I could see that for sure. And that doesn't even count COVID. Yeah, keep that in mind.
And these ones too.
Dog
okay, what about
ownership
these
growth.
ones? I think I'm
My top songs.
putting up bad statistics, I hope. What started off as a fun way to connect has turned
It's
into...
pre-COVID.
I don't even know what to describe this as. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know what's going on with Instagram captions. Like, It's sassy, but you're also in the third person because you're the main
What?
character
I've never
in
even
slang.
seen this.
And it's not just a girly thing. I'm not going to just dog on the girls
What
out
the
there.
fuck?
Us guys do this
I
shit
will.
too. We got default captions and poses too. You got to work the boys into every caption and then throw up a 4 when you're posing with said boys. Hey, getting my colonoscopy with the boys. Picking up.
Is this true? I haven't noticed this. I don't think I follow any men on Instagram.
Lost from the store with my boys.
Yeah,
Just went fishing.
I
And then drunk drove and hit a family of 4.
or do I?
with
Yeah,
the
I don't know why I
boys.
would.
Then you got Snapchat, which I just
Maybe I've
had
got
to
a
delete
couple.
because what the fuck am I gonna do with Snapchat? When
I
you're
don't
no
use
longer in
Snapchat.
high school and taking pictures of random people in class and drawing a wiener over them, there's really no point to this app. Plus, the Discovery tab is concerning. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I don't wanna-
have not. I don't even have Snapchat on my phone. I've never installed Snapchat on my phone. Like, I used to have Snapchat, and I would use it sometimes, but I just don't really give a shit.
keep ranting about social media, so I'm just gonna leave
Yeah.
off with these last 2 things. First of all,
I think it's also, like, Snapchat's mainly for younger, like, it's mainly for, like, young adults and teenagers. And so, like, as you get older, I mean, you know, you're just not going to use it the same way anymore. 25 plus should have Snapchat? Yeah, exactly, right?
everything has a TikTok feature. Instagram has one.
Drug dealers using Snapchat? If you're a drug dealer, you should use Telegram. You're just an idiot if you're using Snapchat. Yeah, I mean, what dumbass is doing that?
Snapchat has one. YouTube has one. The fucking Guitar Tabs
Anyway.
app has one. I'm trying
Signal?
to learn
Yeah, or
Love
Signal.
Bug
Yeah,
by the
like-
Jonas Brothers. Why do I need to see a 12-year-old ripping their vocal cords to sing Alicia Keys? Second, if you're tired of all these apps becoming so fucking bloated that you don't even remember what their original purpose was,
Yeah.
you can download all these BS real social media apps
What?
that all your friends are just going to stop using.
Oh,
after-
that one died immediately. I remember that. That's a good idea, but for some reason, normies refuse to download it. I mean, like, I don't know. I mean, like, I don't know the inner workings of, like, how selling drugs works now. Like, I have no idea. But I mean, if you're not buying and selling with either a prepaid or through Telegram or Signal, you're like, anything that you do, like, I mean, if you're selling weed, it doesn't really matter, right? Because you're never really going to get in trouble for that. But if you're doing anything else besides that and you're not using one of or all 3 of those things, you're just a retard and you deserve to go to jail. Like, I'm sorry, you're just a fucking idiot. Like, at a certain point, like, isn't this natural selection?
for 3 days. Like, I'm pretty sure I still have a friend actively posting to be real, just into the void.
What?
I have been fucking with Locket though. That one's kind of
Locket?
cool.
The
It puts
fuck is
pictures of my
Locket?
friends on my home screen.
don't
Social
want that.
media lost the plot so long ago. They don't each have their niche anymore. They want to incorporate features from all the other
Yeah.
apps so they could be the catch-all app. But they
I
just
think that's actually a really good point. Is it all social? So every social media app tried to be the everything app. Every social media app has a live streaming function now. Every single one has a doom scrolling 10-second video function. Every single one has a long form video function or a short message function. That's a good point.
end up being bland. Like, why would I choose
X is
Instagram
pretty good,
over
yeah.
Snapchat or Google Plus, the best
yeah, that one
social
died.
media platform to exist? And this is the big killer here, the homogenization of everything. I already
Yeah.
mentioned every app having a TikTok feature, but we also have
Yeah,
a story
exactly,
feature
sorry.
on every app.
Yep. Even Twitch
Why?
has a story
and
feature.
staying on the topic of homogenization,
Yeah,
let's
no,
go
but Twitch does not need a story feature at all. Total fucking bloat.
back to phones. I'm just gonna show you phones from like 20 years ago, and then phones from today. Dude, that sucks. These are all just iPhones. It's the same
Yeah.
with cars, tablets, and laptops, where everyone wants to copy the style of Tesla and Apple.
It's because it works. That's the reason why it's the best style. Yeah. It's the best style. It's the best function. Like, the ones with, like, the keyboards had their own problems. The ones that would flip open would have their own problems. There's a reason why everybody uses this. The same one. Yeah, phones are huge today. Yeah, exactly.
respectively. Not only has tech gotten so homogenized, but it's gotten very invasive too. And I don't mean in like a toddler coughing in your face kind of way. I mean in a rash kind of way, where it's always there reminding you,
Hey, I'm here. You want to play with me?
that's what a rash sounds like. It sounds like Ash Ketchum.
Yeah, it's annoying.
Whoa, Pikachu.
Oh, wow.
Click my link tree in the bio to check out my SoundCloud.
I don't know if I
Usually link trees don't go to SoundClouds.
should keep these impressions in the videos. I don't know why I'd never choose to cut them out. We reached a point where technology was seamless and solved real problems. And past it, where now technology is inconvenient. You used to get in your car and you had your music, AC, and all your little car features easily accessible because you're hurling a 1,000-pound vehicle at 65 miles an hour.
Yeah.
You got to be able to access these everyday things quickly and easily. Then we passed that point. Now everything is behind 3 menus on a touch screen that you have to look at.
Turning off the AC in a new car? I don't have any of these problems, and I have a 2025 car. Like, there's just a button and it goes from 1 to 7. Yeah, I mean, like, we did have, so like I rented an Audi, and I remember the shifter for the Audi was like it was like a light switch. And I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, because I'm used to like having, you know, the shifter, right? I mean, you're going to go up and down. And I don't do stick shift, right? I'm just talking about the automatic shifter. And like, even that was weird. Everything's computer. Yeah, and well, mine, like, pretty much everything is computer, but I think it's fine. But yeah, some of them are bad. Some of these here, some cars you do have to use the dashboard screen to do that kind of stuff. That's so stupid. Yeah, I mean, I'm lucky that I don't have a car like that at all.
And pray that you don't hit 2 kids and a dog while using. Home phones let you call your friends and plan ahead or catch up. You can leave a message if they're not home, and it wasn't the end of the world if they didn't answer for a little while. Cell phones helped bridge that lost connection when you're out on the town and you can't.
Well, I hated that. Like, I hated whenever people would do that. I love the ability for people to text me, because then I just don't respond. Or I respond back in like a week, and I'm like, oh yeah, my bad. And like, yeah, I'll get back to them whenever I get back to them. That's it. Yeah, no, that's exactly how I feel.
On each other, or you're just not home, or there's an emergency. You saw a ninja slinking around your house.
Ooh.
Now we're way past that point of feeling a genuine
Phone
need.
etiquette is
There is
needed,
no reason I should be able to receive work emails when I'm going out after 5 p.m. And there's no reason I should be able to post a picture of the sunset with the caption, golden hour with my golden girlies.
Ugh.
There's no reason for any of this. It's just noise. And you can just say, oh, just quit your phone. But people freak the f out if you don't respond for a few hours.
You have to train them. See, for me, it's normal for me to take 2 to 3 weeks to respond to a text message. That's just the way it is. Just how it is. You might not like it. Might be annoying, and I'll get back to you in like a month. But yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, I'm down to hang out. This message was received, what is this, May 1st? Yeah, no, for sure, dude. Yeah, and like, yeah, the 36-day rule. You suck, I know. But like, for me, I don't know. I do my stream, I'm busy, I'm tired. And then, like, by the time I think about, okay, maybe I should socialize, it's like 1 in the morning. I'm like, geez, they're probably asleep by now. I'm not going to text them. And then it's the next day, and then the same thing happens again.
It's out of the norm now. You can't just ditch technology, especially with the way it's so integrated with our everyday lives. Some people can't get around their city or do their job without having a smartphone. Technology.
I'm one of those people. I don't know how to drive anywhere. Like, before we had MapQuest, I would get lost. And when I did have MapQuest, I would still get lost. And I stopped getting lost whenever I had GPS. That was it. And also, here's the best part. I still get lost.
It used to be exciting and helpful. It solved problems we all faced in our everyday lives. But with the way it's so homogenized now, it's starting to create more problems than it's solving. There's no more of that something for everyone. Everything's got to be one size fits all now. Every phone is an iPhone. Every car is a crossover SUV.
Yep.
Every console is basically the same,
Fortnite.
except for Nintendo. They're just the same as themselves.
It's the same as the other one, the other Nintendo, yes.
And I don't want to hear anyone saying, hey, bro, I think you're just depressed. That's why nothing's exciting anymore. Yeah, I'm depressed. My big-ass thumbs can't type on this stupid touchscreen keyboard, and there are no phones with physical keyboards anymore. I'm depressed. I can't flex on my friends with a sick new phone. What am I going to pull up with the iPhone 16 and be like, hey, bro, hey, this phone is like all your phones, but I can combine emojis. I'm not going to say technology peaked and we should just stop making new technology because I don't think that's true. But we passed the point where it was all so exciting because it was genuinely useful.
I think it's because people were young and it was new and you were making bigger gaps and bigger jumps. It's the same as video game graphics. Like when the PS6 comes out, it's not going to be as crazy as the PS5 in terms of graphics. And when the PS4 came out, it wasn't as crazy of a jump than the PS3 was. Like, the fact is that you are hitting a certain degree of, saturation. Like, you're hitting diminishing returns. And the new technology, like the Google Glass or like the Apple Vision, is like $3,500. And the only thing you get out of it is looking like a retard. So, yeah, it's definitely a lot different. The PS2 Go? Yeah, dude, the PS2 was a totally different universe.
Looked so fucking sick. It would be cool if it was possible to just ditch your phone and get a dumb phone, but I like having Spotify and Venmo and the Chipotle app so I can get a free bowl once every 7 years. All I really want is a cool looking phone with a physical keyboard, but until then, I'll just keep buying these cheap-ass Google...
The one thing about this video that I 100% agree with is about the proliferation of apps. Like, I don't want to download the Domino's app. I just want to order Domino's. That's it. I don't want any bullshit or anything else to happen.
Pixels whenever my current one breaks. I really don't use this for anything other than phone calls, texting, and checking Facebook Marketplace for the weirdest shit I can ever find. Look at this shit I found the other day.
That's really cool. Holy shit. That's badass.
I'd say everything I talked about is worth it because I got to see this. Channel that subscribe button for videos about literally anything. Everything goes at this point. Comment what your favorite thing about old phones was, and thank you for watching.
Boomer needs a jitterbug. Yeah, I feel like technology back in the day was like, it was solving more problems. Whereas, like, I mean, I think a tablet is a great example of this. Like, I have a tablet. I don't know where it is. It's somewhere. It's on the floor somewhere over there. And I bought it, and I hardly use it because a tablet is basically just a PC. Like, it's basic. Like, what am I doing with the tablet that I'm not already doing with my phone or PC? And so you just have all, like, there's nothing. It's a big phone. Yeah, exactly. And so what's going on with this at all? It's a worse PC? Yeah, but you already have a laptop for that. And like, laptops are better than tablets. Tablets, the only function that tablets really have is that if you work in sales or any form of business presentation, tablets do a tremendously good job at being able to communicate something to a client or a person you're trying to sell to in a way that is professional, clean, technologically advanced, and just useful, right? It looks professional. So like if you're at a, like you have a dealership, you're trying to sell a product or whatever, like I think a tablet is like your S-tier device, but that's like it's such an, like how many people are really doing this, right? It's very unlikely. It's mostly for kids. Yeah, I guess so. Reading in bed. I just read on my phone. Am I weird? I think that maybe I am. But yeah, overall, I think technology nowadays, I love technology. I love using technology. I'll link you guys a video. Give it a like. And yeah, it's a great... I think it's a great analysis, especially with like the phone thing about how every phone is an iPhone. And yeah, sure, I think it's definitely true, but you're going to see more and more people that I think bring this up and are frustrated with it. But also, I think people become like kind of exhausted or fatigued from technology because technology is just repeating the same stuff over and over and over. It's not like there's anything new or special or different going on at all. And I think that's what's really kind of alienating people more than anything else. Brain images to digital? Yeah, sure. But right now, it's just, I feel like in the last like 5 years, we've pretty much had the same exact technology, just repeated over and over. Yeah, I can understand that as well. Yeah, exactly. Exponential growth that we had has stopped. Well, the exponential growth, well, the problem is that even if you experience exponential growth, like let's say you go from 8K resolution to 16K resolution, the difference between the two is not going to be as big as the difference between the Super Nintendo and the Nintendo 64. That's the problem, is that you're hitting a diminishing return because the perceptual reality that a human can live in has a ceiling as well. So we're already hitting that ceiling in general. Like 1080p is great. 1440 is even better. 4K is amazing. But like when I'm at 1440 and I move from that to 4K, I'm not seeing the big difference that I saw whenever I moved from 1080p to 1440, right? And do you see what I'm saying, right? Like you're hitting diminishing returns over and over. And yeah, I'm at 1440 right now myself. I don't need any more than that. And I feel like 4K doesn't have that big of a value. So until we get, Sword Art Online and Neuralink, we're going to be at an impasse with technology, and I can't wait to see that happen. This is a good video, man. And I've never watched one of his videos before, one of these videos, but I did like it. And IRL streaming in your front yard, yeah, we'll see what happens. Virtual reality, yes, clearly. Sounds like a boomers, man. The boomers say that about 60 FPS. You can't tell that if the difference is higher. Well, I think it's just, it's a reality. Like, I mean, you can look at what photographic quality is, and then you can compare that, and then you can look at what the difference between the two things are. And, like, yes, obviously, image resolution has diminishing returns after probably, like 1440 2K resolution. It has a diminishing return. And it gets worse every time, right? Yeah, I need 1440. And also, the human eye, like the difference, for example, a 500 hertz monitor. I'm assuming the human eye can probably see at about 300 to 400 frames per second. Maybe 200, somewhere around there. Probably between 200 to 400 based off of the genetics. Oh, is it 1,000? I think it's over 1,000. Really? That's crazy. It's like 140? Yeah, I don't know. But like, and CRTs were about like 700 FPS, right? Something like that. Not my eyes. Yeah, I'm at about 35 FPS or so. And yeah, something like that. Infinite FPS? Well, I don't. Well, it's which can be perceived as higher, right? And I think that's really what I'm discussing more than anything. But yeah. And anyway, Grok, yeah, sure. But I'm going to go and take a break today and chill out. Anyway, guys, thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you then. All right, boys. Peace. See ya.